if I were single again, if she died, or if I gave her, we were divorced, how would I live? What would I do next? Get in the gym? You should. What would I do? How would I improve myself? Build yourself up while you're still actually objectively, you're still married. But in your head, you're kind of like, okay, we're just roommates. I'm not fucking her. I'm not doing anything. Well, clearly I'm not fucking her. What would you do? How would you prepare yourself for the sexual marketplace if you were single right now? That's what I mean by you have to have that mentality. The problem is that when guys get to that point and they go, well, I'm going to improve myself. Then 6 months later, 7 months, 8 months later, they're looking better. They're in the gym. They develop new habits. They think they've given themselves permission to change their minds about themselves. And then the next step is, okay, well, if you were single now, would you get with the woman that you're with? Now is it worthwhile for you? Because the reason why guys don't change is because they're changing for her. They're not changing for themselves. They're not changing because they're put on the spot. If you were single today, you would develop a set of habits that are much different than if you're the lifestyle, the comfortable routine lifestyle that you're living in right now with your wife or your girlfriend or whatever who won't have sex with you. You're living a different way. That's why I say you have to mentally break up with that girl, divorce that wife that won't fuck you in your head at least, and say, okay, that's what our relationship's about right now. What would you do? Well, you probably would get in the gym. You probably improve yourself. If you want to go out there in the sexual marketplace, I don't want to say clubs because most guys aren't, especially when they get older, like, I don't go to clubs. But what would you do differently? How would you live your life differently? That's where it's supposed to force you into that sort of way of thinking, so that when you get to the point where you've improved yourself, you have to ask yourself the question, now that I am higher value, now that I'm 2 steps above my wife in sexual market value, and suddenly she has a sexual reinterest in me, is she even worth or would she have ever been worth my consideration? That's a good question, actually. I think that was actually why I wanted to recover this. If Derek Jackson was Derek Jackson, like who he is right now, like his sexual market value at his mid-30s, if he was that dude in the pictures, now, would he marry, much less date, a chick that looks like the girl that he met when he was a teenager? I don't think so. That's where you have to go with that. Because most men don't realize, that's why I say stay single at least until you're 30. Don't even consider getting married until your mid-30s, if ever at all, right? But stay single, stay on, spin plates, my friend, until at least 30 years old. Maybe after that, maybe early 30s, because that will put you in a different state of mind. Because now you're going to go, okay, because I have to impress upon young men, especially when they're 19, 20 years, 21 years old, that your life is going to be much different when you get to be 30, 31 years old. Because what happens, and this has been my experience over the course of the 20 years I've been in the manosphere, is I'll get guys who are like 29, 30 years old, 31 years old. And they'll go, Rollo, man, all these girls from my high school are hitting me up on Facebook. And now they wouldn't give me the time of day, but now they've taken an interest in me. I don't know, man, maybe I just been living the right life. And I'm like, no, they're desperate. No, you're the guy that they wanted you to wait for them until they got to 29, 30, 31 years old. That's why they're interested. Hey, man, I can finally fuck that girl from homecoming. Hey, I can finally get with that girl who wouldn't give me the time of day back when I was in college. I must be doing something right. No, you're just in the right place at the right time. And they're still ignorant of the game. That's what it boils down to. You want to know why you have a midlife crisis? Is because you've been ignorant of the game until you got to the point where you made decisions. And then you hit your peak potential and you go, holy shit, I would have done it so much different. I'm 36 years old. I made partner in the law firm. I'm hitting my stride right now. I would have lived my life that could have been. I would not have gotten married at 28 years old. I would not have had a kid at 30. I would not have done these things had I known then what I know now. Had I been the Derek Jackson that I am now back when I met that girl, I would never have got with her because there's so many hot bitches I would have been with. And he would have been singing a much different tune. His grift, his business, his motivational positivity hustle would be way different. than it is. He might be a Justin Waller for all we know. He might be have been in the manosphere had things changed differently for him. I would argue that Hafiz would probably be a much different person had he not had all of that sort of like, oh, I got to stay dumb and blue pill until I'm 30. And then I'll get married and then I'll be doing things the right way. How many guys have committed suicide because they did things the right way? I did, you do the right thing. Yeah, you do the right thing and do the right thing. And then you realize that nobody's playing by the same rule books that you are. That's a midlife crisis. That's a midlife epiphany. Shit, I have all of this sexual selectivity, but I can't exercise it. Holy shit, I got all these hot bitches that want to fuck me, but I got to stick with her because I got kids. That's the midlife crisis. I'm going to go buy a sports car. Women want it. The reason why women shame guys for the midlife crisis is because they're trying to keep them in the box. They're trying to keep them on the plantation. They're trying to keep their heads out of what could be. Hey, mister, your dedication's to me. It's better if the guy is actually in love with the woman and wants to stay with her and wants to have a relationship. It's way better if he's like the one who says, okay, I see value in this. It's different when that guy gets to the point where he's finally got to his peak potential and his wife has not kept up with her, doing her best to stay as close as she can to him. I think that's the main problem. One of the reasons why guys divorce their wives after a midlife crisis, or they get to be the Tiger Woods or the Derek Jacksons, right? The reasons why those women are in a really tough spot is because they felt like they are entitled, regardless of how fat they get, how old they get, how many kids they have, whatever, that because he's got dedication he's committed to me and the Lord, that's what he's got to do. He better show up on time when I tell him the dinner's ready. Right? That if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. That is a convention to keep that guy from realizing his peak potential and what his selectivity is. And don't get any bright ideas, mister. Don't hang out with Justin over there because he can bang all these hot chicks because you need to be here at the house back by 8 o'clock.